8 o'clock Eastern, massively packed out. Thanks for all the well wishes and hellos from all the people in here already. And go ahead and just jump in. Let us know where you're calling in from or where you're watching in from and what part of the world you're living in. We're pretty excited to meet you guys as well. Miami, Florida, welcome. Also, can you guys let me know if you can hear me okay? And if you're looking at some amazing, unbelievable sales screen of average people making money right from the go with DS Domination. Asheboro, North Carolina, welcome. Danielle, Hollywood, welcome everyone. Super excited to be here. Dan Fisher, Colorado, Minnesota. Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. London, UK in the house. Welcome, Philadelphia. Wow, this is great. Utah, great to see you. Ron, Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome, New Zealand. You know, you go to those weddings and you're like, who drove in the furthest? I think New Zealand has it now, or London. I don't know. Hitesh should probably correct me later on. I'm going to be bringing out a gentleman here in just a second. You know, he changed my life, certainly when I met him. He made me think a lot more, not just in terms of business and money, but a super brilliant guy out of Texas. And what you're seeing tonight would not be possible without him. In fact, I had the skill set to do what you're going to see for a long time, but I didn't have the skill set to bring it to market, and certainly not in this capacity, so I could change my life, but a few other lives. But when Hitesh came into the fold here and exposed this to pretty much the world instantaneously in unbelievable fashion in the last 45, 50 days, we've been changing lives all over the place, and somebody loves you, invited you here to see this. So without further ado, I'm going to bring out Mr. Hitesh out of Texas. Are you here, Hitesh?
Well, yes, I'm here, and that was an overtly enthusiastic and a very edifying welcome and introduction, so thank you for that. Well, we're going to go ahead and actually get started because there's a lot of meaty stuff to cover in this webinar, and if you're a vegetarian, there's a lot of lettuce to cover. So there's a lot of good stuff to cover in the webinar, so we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we begin, let me just clarify a couple of things. This is going to be very, very different from pretty much any other webinar that you guys have seen in the past. You can actually see why, because nobody usually shares the results from their webinars like this. So this is actually our chat box from a previous webinar. You can see the results that people are getting while on the webinar. Okay. Now, usually you're going to attend a webinar. There's going to be a guy with a really smooth voice and perfect salesman. Instead, you're going to be listening to an Indian, and it's not really that exciting. So what we're going to do is we're going to appeal to your logic today, not to your emotion. And our aim is to get you profitable by the time that you get to the end of the webinar. Now, note what I said. The aim is not to get you to buy a bunch of stuff. The aim is to get you profitable by the end, and to do it in a very, very unique fashion, in a way that a lot of people are doing in the past month and a half or so. We've had roughly 4,000 people, actually more, almost 5,000 now, doing that and being very, very successful with it. So we're going to go through all of that. There are two things I want you to do. One, I want you guys to make sure that if you have any questions, you note them down, and then we're going to stop at different points. We're going to ask you if you have any questions. We're going to actually take the questions. We're going to answer every question before the end of the webinar, and also pay very close attention to what we are discussing here, because this is not the average run-of-the-mill thing. We're not trying to pitch something at you. This is basically a plan. This is a blueprint of going from wherever you are, whatever stage you're in right now, to the stage where you're basically generating 5-6 figures on autopilot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to get started with basically trying to explain why majority of the people are bound to fail. No fault of their own, no fault of anybody really, and not even the fault of people who are selling them things. Okay. Here is the traditional way, and majority of you on this webinar have probably already heard of this, or somebody has pitched this to you, or you've even tried this yourself. Okay, the way it works is that you start out with finding a product or an affiliate offer to promote, and right at this point, you're going to spend some time researching, and there are a bunch of people who are going to start failing at this point because they're not going to find the right product or the affiliate offer to promote. Then you build a page or a website about it. You try to promote it using that. You write out some content. You write out some sales copy if you're doing that. You write out some emails, things like that. You finish your sales funnel, and finally you drive a bunch of traffic to the sales funnel. Okay, now if you're a complete beginner and you didn't understand any of the terms that I just mentioned, that's perfect. Okay, that's where you want to be, because you don't need any of the terms and any of the stuff that we're talking about that we're going to be discussing tonight in this webinar. Okay, so the problem with this whole method, this whole process, is that there's a lot of failure rates at each of these points. You know, roughly 30% of the people will fail at this point. You know, maybe another 30% or 40% are going to fail at this point. You're going to have a bunch of people failing here, a bunch of people failing here. I'm just going to say X% there, because that's depends on people's own motivation there. And then you have traffic.
Hey Tash, it might be just me, but I'm still looking at the screenshot of the sales.
Well, what about now?
Okay, my eyes are now open. Thank you.
Thank you. Just listen to what I'm saying, and you will see even better. Okay, I'm going to show you many wonderful things here in a few minutes. So here's what we have going on, right? So everybody hopefully can see my screen. You have the product. You choose, you build a page or a website, you get content and sales that you put together for it, you put together a complete sales funnel, you know, back end offers and all that stuff, and then you finally try to drive traffic. By the time this whole thing is played out, roughly 97% of the people fail, okay? And as you can imagine, this is a very complex thing to do. This is very hard to mimic, and majority of the time this does not work for people. So what we decided to do is we said, let's not do any of these steps. We're instead going to do a very, very unique and different thing. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to start out with piggybacking. Okay? We're going to piggyback off of the biggest e-commerce platforms out there instead, so we don't have to drive any traffic. We don't have to spend any money building sites. We don't have to worry about Google updates. We don't have to worry about PPC. We don't have to worry about Facebook leads. We're not going to do any of those things whatsoever. Instead, we're going to focus on piggybacking. And instead of spending hundreds of dollars up front, which is what majority of the people do, right? Majority of the people start out, they spend a bunch of money buying products, getting training, buying software, learning all the stuff, and then trying to put it together and outsourcing content writing and article writing, all that stuff. We're not going to do any of that. Instead, we're going to say that, you know, let's say that we're going to assign a super, super, super minimum budget. We're going to say we don't want to spend more than 10, 20 bucks at most for anything. We don't want to spend any money on domain names. We don't want to spend money on hosting. We don't want to spend money on anything that we can, if we can help it. Okay? And we're just going to piggyback. We're going to aim to become profitable as quickly as possible. We're not going to aim to make $10,000 a month. We're going to aim to make $500 to $1,000. So we are profitable. At least we know that we're making profits. We're not losing money. And we're going to make sure that we have minimal costs. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over the presentation to Roger. And he's going to actually walk you through a process where all of this holds true, where you will not generate any traffic, you'll not build any websites, you'll not do any of that stuff whatsoever. Okay? So we're just going to piggyback off of the biggest places out there, and all of the training and all of the software and all of the stuff that we're ever going to use for that is going to cost us basically nothing. So, Roger, I'm going to hand over the presentation to you. If you want to go ahead and just walk all of us through the process that you have used over the past decade to generate roughly $15 million in sales, doing virtually nothing, which is very well suited for Roger.
I'm going to get Hitesh back here. I got a little surprise for him later in this presentation. But welcome, guys. And yeah, again, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. Roger Langille, family guy, a couple little girls, and I've been sitting at home for 10 years or so, like Hitesh said, making money doing this. And all I need you guys to do to achieve success is ask yourself at every single step of what I'm going to do, is this real? And can I do this? So obviously Amazon.com is real, a billion-dollar company, publicly traded. And I'm going to start off by typing in a little search box on Amazon, 2 words, Blue Amazon. Now, I could type in anything. I started with the color blue. I could start with cat, dog, red. You can put anything you want in there. I only put Amazon behind it to exclude other companies that sell on Amazon. So I put in 2 words, and you'll see here there's 2.6 million results, ton of results, and I'm just going to look at the first thing, this dish set right here. Now what you're going to discover is we're going to make Amazon our supplier on eBay, virtually unlimited items. We're going to copy and paste pictures and descriptions over there and make money. It's just that easy. So the can you do this is can you type something into a white box so far. Now I'm going to go over to eBay, and I'm going to do advanced search, or I'm just going to search right here in this box. I'm going to type in a few keywords on eBay, trying to find that item, and I'll type in Pyrex Kitchen 10. Okay, just a few keywords to help me find that particular item. I'm going to search for it, see what's going on, and I see there's 17 results over here on eBay. So far all I did was type in 2 boxes, and I think everybody on here can do that. And I'm looking through, and all I see is these white background photos. That jumps out to me and tells me, hey, those are Amazon photos. Those aren't Grandma's kitchen sink. This one's taken in a home, and you can see the difference, obviously. This one's taken in a home, but these are professional pictures. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to start with the first one. I'm going to click on it. Now, when I ask you guys if you can click, obviously you're going to get annoyed with that. I won't do it too much, but of course you can click your mouse. And then I'm going to go over here, and mind you, these instructional videos that you're going to see later on, you're going to actually be seeing me. You can look and go through. You don't have to memorize anything right now. Over here underneath the username, I'm going to click on See Other Items, and my whole goal here is to say, hey, I saw you were selling one item from Amazon.com. Are you selling other items from Amazon.com? And when I get over here, I see all these white pictures, so all you have to be able to do is go, yep, these are Amazon photos. That's the big quantum leap so far. We've copied and pasted or typed in a couple words, clicked a button, and then used our mind to go, yep, those are Amazon photos, and that's it. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you guys exactly how this works. So here you see this some sort of find money on the beach type thing, and they're bidding on that. Right now there's 18 bids. It's up to $27. This is live right now. You can go buy it if you need one. The next thing is a buy it now. And what that is, it's not an auction. It's just like, here's the price. Do you want it or not? And I can do research on buy it nows because I don't know what this is going to end at. I don't think anybody wants to wait around for it to end. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on this one here. And I'm going to see he sold one of these for $256.95. So now I'm just going to scroll down the page really softly and gently and easily. I'm going to copy part of his title. I'm going to head back over to Amazon, and I'm going to paste that in, just copy and paste, and hit go. And I'm going to see that that safe is $159 free shipping. Okay? So what's going to happen is when this person here came along and bought that safe, this guy or this girl right here got $256.95 sent to them in their PayPal account. They then had $257 basically of the customer's money. They went over to Amazon. They clicked on this safe right here. They added it to their cart. They checked out, and they shipped it direct to the customer. Okay? Again, they took this safe. They added it to the cart, and they shipped it. It'll come up and it'll ask for the customer's information. eBay is going to give you that. You copy and paste it in. You ship this safe to somewhere in the United States. Now notice that that gentleman or that lady on the other page that I showed you did not touch the safe. They did not pre-purchase the safe. All they did was move this image and this description over to eBay and list the safe and sell it on eBay. Okay? All they did was take this picture here and this description here. Here's what the description is right down here. Combination fire safe. I'm on eBay right now. Go back to Amazon. Combination fire safe. All they did was copy and paste pictures and move them over. In fact, I'll take a quick second to show you how incredibly easy that is. I'm just going to open up another eBay window for you right now. On the top here, I'm just going to click sell. This is what you would do once you discovered this. I'm going to click sell on this page here. I'm going to log in, and even though I've been selling for 10 years, how ironic, my username is Roger is better than Hitesh. So that's my username.
And we know that Roger is the one who came up with that because he misspelled Dan. He has then. A grammatical error even in the username.
I knew that when I was setting that up actually earlier today. Obviously, I just set that up. So I'm going to go over here, and again, you'll be watching over my shoulder as I did this. You'll be watching videos, so you don't have to memorize anything you're seeing. But all I would do is I'd go over here and I'd type in safe. Can everybody on the call type in safe and do a search for that? And then it's going to ask me to categorize it. I check a box, and I click continue. I'm just going to X out of this because I have a new account. There's kind of funny things coming up, but this is all in the training. And now it's going to ask me to put a title. Oh boy, can I come up with a title? Well, here's his listing. Here's the title right here. Perfect. That'll work out. I can just copy that, move that over, paste that in. Boom. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do a better title, okay? I'm going to check the items new, all right? And then I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to add a picture. This is just 2 clicks of the button. Then I'm going to grab some description from Amazon, copy this right here, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to paste this in here. That's about it for that. It's going to ask me to price it. I'm going to do a fixed price, which is that take action right now versus auction type thing. And I'm going to say to myself, well, you're selling it for $256.95. I'll sell it for $249.99. And that's about it. You're going to submit your listing. It's up for sale. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. And then when someone comes along and buys it, that money goes into your PayPal account. You will go over and you will ship this to your customer without touching it. You will keep that change. We call this Level Pro. You're going to have some questions that you can have at the end of the webinar, but I'll jump ahead and I'll give you some answers to them. You're going to say, why do people buy it from eBay versus getting it from Amazon? Did you know before this webinar that this safe was $159 on Amazon? Or the clothes that you're wearing, did you get the absolute cheapest price? We don't get the cheapest price. Some people comparison shops the lights out of things. A lot of other people, including myself, will go on to eBay and say, I need a safe. There's one. I'll buy it. Okay? So that's where the market comes from. That's the piggybacking Hitesh is referring to. We ship it to the customers. This is an example of somebody doing it. They have 99.1% positive feedback, tens of thousands of transactions. You'll see their feedback. I'm going to click on this right now. This is how people rate people on eBay. Stellar feedback, 5-star feedback, item is described, communication, shipping time, and all they're doing is moving that from Amazon over to the customer after they've moved it from Amazon to eBay. We call this getting started, changing your life, no marketing, no nothing, just piggybacking, as Hitesh said, off of different companies. We call this Pro. Back to you, Hitesh.
Awesome. Okay, so at this point, let me first of all ask everyone, can everybody just say to themselves, yeah, I understand this whole process. There is nothing complex there. There are no Google rankings. There's no SEO. There's no PPC. There's none of that stuff. Okay? And there's one more question that we will just quickly preempt, which is, does this work anywhere from the world? Absolutely. It works from anywhere in the world. We have people from all over the world already doing this, and we have kids doing this. We actually know for a fact that we have an 11-year-old child, we have a 14-year-old child, and we have a 15-year-old child who are all doing this. Okay? So it's super, super straightforward to do. And while Roger was talking in anticipation that I thought he was going to get me really well with something, I was drawing him out. This is basically Roger in his past 10 years. He's sitting on this little bridge between Amazon and eBay. He's on with his laptop, and he's basically making money from these transactions. And just
he's
to
a
make
little
it,
too skinny. He's been sitting for 10 years.
Right. I'm going to make that clear now. Just to make clear that this is Roger, we're going to put a pink hat on him. There we go. A little pink shirt. And let's add a little bigger belly. And next to him, we're going to put a donut. There we go. Now we know that's Roger. So we know that Roger has been doing this for a long period of time, and he's been making awesome income with that. But more importantly, it's not just that he is doing it. There's all these people, thousands upon thousands of people that we know personally who are doing this now, and they're doing very, very well with it. Okay? Now, at this point, we are only talking about Amazon and eBay, but that's not where the game ends. Okay? That's what we begin with. And the reason we begin with this is that it's very, very easy. Obviously, Roger has been doing this for a long time. We know that it's very easy. We know a lot of other people are doing this. But there have to be ways to expand this a lot more. Now, remember that I said that our goal at this stage was just to piggyback. So we are not doing any traffic generation. Amazon and eBay are. We are not doing any of the hard work of acquiring the product, shipping the product, any of those things. Basically, Amazon is handling all of that for us, or eBay is handling all of the other side, the marketing side. So Amazon is our supplier. eBay is our marketplace. We're just going to sit on this bridge, eating donuts and making a bunch of money. Now, this is great for us to get into profits. And this is great for us to make some income with, but we also want to scale up and we want to go beyond this. So what we're going to do is we're going to then switch gears and we're going to say, let's go ahead and move on to step 2, where we're going to start scaling up a lot more. Now we're going to scale up our business. We're going to increase our profit margin per sale. We're going to make a full-time income instead of just focusing on being profitable with $1,000 a month or something like that. We're going to focus on making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 or whatever we want. And we're going to keep using just our profits to expand. So we're going to maintain our no cost out of the pocket idea. We're going to continue with that. We're going to make sure that we're not spending excess money. We're only going to use the money that we've already made to move on to step 2. Okay. Now, the way we're going to scale up is by doing 2 things. One is that we're going to make more profit per sale, but we're also going to now expand our horizon. Instead of just making money with Amazon and eBay, now we're going to start using a lot more marketplaces, not just eBay. Okay. For example, Google itself. Okay. And then we're also going to focus on more suppliers. We're not going to restrict ourselves just to Amazon. We're going to use a lot more suppliers as well. So we're going to create all these new bridges now instead of just the one that we had previously. Now we're going to have all of these different bridges going all over the place. And basically because of that, we'll be making a lot more money and we will be eating a lot more donuts. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to hand this back to Roger, and we're going to have Roger walk us through this process. He's going to show us exactly how we can scale up. He's going to show us some examples, actually, of products that we can scale this up with very, very easily. Okay, and this is the section that we like to call elite. Okay, we begin with the elite side of things, which is expanding our suppliers and our marketplaces. Then we're going to increase our profit and sale with what we call unleashed. Okay, so we're going to talk about both of them in the next step. And I'm going to hand this over to you, Roger, so take it away.
Thank you, Tash, and don't let any of those screens or any additional things intimidate you. In fact, they intimidated me. And what I mean by that is I just fell in love with Amazon like you fell in love with a rotary dial phone. For those of you under the age of 60 on here, I'm 42 actually. But you fell in love with rotary phones, and when the flip phone came out, that was it. And then, I remember the young kids would get the iPhone, like, what is this thing? But now you can't live without these products. I fell in love with Amazon, and when I started looking at other sites, I was like, that's not pretty, that's not easy, I got to think. And I didn't want to think, but the good news for you guys, I did bother to think, and I started thinking of other sites and realized the profit potential because of less competition and how much money was there and the variety of different products. You can stop going from making $5, $10, $15, $20 a sale to making 50, 100, 150, 200 and upwards of sales. So that's where Hitesh talked about moving different places in as suppliers rather than Amazon. And then we also designed out in the Elite where you're not just selling on eBay, but with one click of the button, everything you already put on eBay is also being sold on Google. So, eBay is kind of a household name to you. Selling on Google is mystifying for some of you guys, but it's going to be one click of the button, and all of your eBay products are now out there selling on Google, and we call that Elite. I'm going to give you some examples of sales that have taken place in there just recently. So here is a chicken coop. I tried to find something completely silly to entertain myself, but here's a chicken coop, and I keep Hitesh in here in the wintertime, keep them warm, and $288 free shipping was the cost. So we turned around and sold that September 24th for $395.95. So again, $288 was the cost. We sold that for $395.97 on eBay. Now, if that's got you excited and you're starting to realize how quickly and easily you can scale this up, this will kind of blow your mind. Here's a 8-piece leather Italian, beautiful, too expensive for my goods, and my kids would destroy it if my cats didn't do it. 8-piece set for $579. We didn't sell one, but we sold 2 of those sets on eBay on September 18th. For $1,099 each, a markup of $579. And I didn't mention this earlier, but it takes about 4 minutes to put a listing up on eBay. Actually, I showed you can do it in 2 or 3 minutes, but it takes you 4 minutes. I almost feel guilty making $1,000 on one sale in 4 minutes. Okay, let me do another example for you. This one, you'll see here it says October 29th, 2013. That's when the item is actually going to end. You can see there's 28 days left in it, but almost immediately, within a few days of putting this up, we had sold 3 of those for $546.01 each. The listing hasn't even ended yet at the time of this webinar. $546.01 each, and our cost was $449. So nearly $100 times 3 for 4 minutes work, and that's what we talk about scaling up. In the pro, you're going to start realizing that life can be really good, going out to some extra dinners. In this level, when you turn out and bring in more suppliers and more methodologies to sell these items, not only on eBay and Google with one click of the button moving things from eBay to Google, now you're going to go from extra dinners to extra vacations and kind of looking at your boss really crooked. We call this elite. Back to you, Hitesh. You may be muted, my friend.
Okay, sorry about that.
Good for everybody.
Yeah, it is. I should probably go back on mute now. But I will just put everybody through this so that you can all appreciate Roger more. Okay, so the idea behind Elite is fundamentally actually kind of the same. We're still doing essentially the same thing that we were doing in Pro, which is we are taking products that already exist, that we didn't produce, that we're not working with, and we are placing them on marketplaces where people are buying them, and we are basically just collecting the difference on them. Okay. Now the whole idea itself is very straightforward. We've already seen that it works. We just showed you some examples that it works, and that right there is known as Elite. Okay. Now, let me draw out a little quick timeline or a chart for you guys so you can see exactly what's going on here at each step along the way. Okay. So in the beginning, we had Pro. All right. And with Pro, we're going to basically aim to make hundreds to thousands of dollars. Okay, so we're going to really aim to make hundreds of dollars. Our aim is to get into profitability as quickly as we can. Okay, after Pro, we had, let me fill it with solid color. After that, we have Elite. Okay, now Elite is where we are really shooting for making a few thousand a month. We're trying to make our income, a full-time income from this, and we are now shooting for thousands. At this point, we are just selling on eBay. Okay, that's what we are doing in Pro. In Elite, we are selling on eBay, and we are selling also on other places like Google and other marketplaces. Okay, so we're just going to say Google for now because it's easier to understand. Everybody knows what Google is. Then we're going to move on to another section within this, which is Unleashed. Okay, in Unleashed, we are basically increasing, I'm just going to put UL there. In Unleashed, we're basically increasing our profit margin per sale. We're actually getting a lot of other things involved in here. So we are making more money than companies that are even producing these items. Okay, it's awesome how we can do all of that good stuff. And in this case, now we have really moved on to like mid to high thousands of dollars. Okay, so let's say roughly 5,000 to 8,000 a month. Okay, and this is not just like a pipeline. This is not like an idea of, hey, it'd be awesome if you made this. This is really based on real numbers, real results that we have had over the past, decade with Roger, or the numbers that we have seen with all of the users that we already have who are doing the exact same thing. Okay, and again, I'm not appealing to your emotion on this. Just follow along logically. You will be able to understand why logically this whole thing makes sense. Okay, now the final step in this stage, in this step 2, remember we are still on step 2. So all the glory and awesomeness has not yet been revealed. The final step in this step 2 is called Monopoly. Okay, now this is when we're going to scale up. We're going to go from making a few thousands to some thousands to many thousands to tens of thousands. Okay, so we're going to move on to tens of thousands a month at this point with Monopoly. Okay, I'm going to have Roger explain a little bit more about what Monopoly is. But in this case, just to give you guys a quick rundown, we were selling on Google, and we were selling on eBay with Elite and Unleashed. We are also now going to move on to the biggest marketplace, the biggest buyer source in the world right now, which is Amazon itself. Okay, and there are some nuances there. There are some conditions that Amazon imposes. It's not as easy to sell on Amazon as it is on other places, and that's why this is going to be our final step. This is when we are still running just without profit. So I want you guys to just look at one very important thing here. And this is very unique compared to every other method here. You were making money in Pro. You're using a part of that money to get to Elite and use that. You're using a part of that to get to Unleashed and use that. And you're going to use a part of that to get to Monopoly and use that. Your out-of-pocket expenses for this whole thing, our aim is to make that zero, or actually even reverse it and start you guys out with a profit right from the start. Okay, so hang on and watch the whole thing and you'll understand exactly how this thing works. But I'm going to hand it over to Roger. He's going to walk us through what Monopoly is and how exactly that tens of thousands of dollars happens basically on autopilot once you've already done the hard work of establishing all of these things. Okay, so here you go, Roger. Make some jokes about me now.
Okay, happy to do that. You know what this whole presentation reminds me of is there was a gentleman that was using Craigslist quite some time ago, and he started with a paper clip, and he traded all the way up to a house. He started trading a paper clip on Craigslist and got something, then he traded that all the way up to some sort of snow globe with a kiss emblem on it, and then eventually traded all the way up to a house. So we're starting you with $0 and moving you all the way up to retirement. And if Hitesh brings out the screenshot later on, we already have people making tens of thousands of dollars. And we are currently 23, 30, about 40 days old. And we've already accomplished this. And they're just adding on, and you're just getting introduced to step one earlier in this presentation. And here we are at our final product and what we do. And here's the thinking behind it. You're now not only selling on eBay, you're not only selling on Google, but Amazon is the biggest, baddest marketplace. It's filled with nothing but buyers and very few sellers. Think of eBay, okay? eBay is filled with buyers and sellers. Think of Google. Not a high concentration of people are on Google just to buy. They're on Google to Google things like Miley Cyrus's rock concert weirdness, right? So here, this is why they're here. I'm on Amazon. Why am I here? I'm here to buy. It's the best marketplace. It's got the most traffic. It's got customers just waiting to put money out there. So Google doesn't do a layup for sellers and say, let's make it super easy. Now, it's not that it's rocket science or there's any programming. You just have to know what you need to do this. In fact, you need something called UPC codes, which you'll discover in the training, and they actually come out of the UK. And it's all weird stuff, but you don't have to know any of that. You don't have to know how the wiring in your house is. Just turn on the switch. And the way we have the training is just get the UPC code from us. Okay? So I'll give you an example of how powerful Amazon can be and what a great opportunity that's here. One of the suppliers, one of the sites that we use in the training as you go up, in fact, it's in the Elite training, is going to show you that you can get one of those outdoor wooden swing sets for about $280, $300. Okay, that's if you want it to your home, put it in your backyard, your kids swing on it. In fact, I'm getting one this Christmas for my daughter. I'm stuck. I say stuck because I know she'll swing once. I'll spend 30 years watching the thing rot, but that's cool. I got to get it. Any dads out there with little girls understand what I'm talking about. So here we are, a wooden swing set. Now, if I come over here to Amazon and I type in swing set, these are the biggest suppliers. I just want a good wooden swing set, and I come over here, I type in swing set. Well, this is a hardware kit that doesn't come with wood for $72. This is a hardware kit. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to Lowe's and chopping down some trees and everything else. I want the whole swing set. This isn't what I'm looking for. Eddie Fisher swing set on Eastwood Court in Nova Scotia when I was 4 years old. I watched that thing go rust. I don't want a metal swing set. I don't want this pool slide. Oh, here it is. Here's what I'm looking for. This is a wooden swing set. I want my girl playing on this. Let me go ahead and click and buy this. So when I click on this, it says see price and cart. So I go ahead and I add this, and I see the price is $2,500. Now, I'm doing pretty well, but for a swing set, my girl's going to swing on it once, and I get to watch it rot for 20 years, not interested in paying $2,500. So what if you were trained to take that swing set that's $300 somewhere else on the internet with a different supplier and put that over on Amazon and sell it for $800, $900? And then when lost soul me comes along looking around for a swing set for my daughter, and I see, oh, 2,500 or 900, I'm going to buy the 900, and you're going to make $400 or $500. So there's so much traffic going into Amazon, but there's not a lot of sellers here, that there's an opportunity to be a massive seller. We call this monopoly because you're literally monopolizing the market, because there's such a small percentage of sellers over here versus something like eBay. This is monopoly. We train you guys how to do it, and that's where the tens of thousands start coming in at the last level. Now you've fired your boss, and now you drive by in a really cool sports car and laugh every day on your way to get some more donuts. Make sure you bring some to me. We call that monopoly. Back to you, Hitesh. You may be muted.
And my joke, I hate when I'm on mute, because all of the jokes that I make, then I have to redo them, and then I mess up the delivery. But I said earlier that please everybody send donuts to Roger. He's starving for them. But yeah, for Roger, he gets a win. Okay, so the point was that at this point, it should be blatantly clear to everybody that this is very unique, very different. This is not about buying some weird fangled software and trick Google and exploit some loophole and do this or do that and things like that, okay? This is not about any of those things. And this is all about trying to actually build a business starting at zero, at point zero. And I can actually tell you, if you go out there and you try to look into how can I sell on Amazon, there are people out there trying to sell you just the information on how to sell on Amazon for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And I'm not kidding. Some of you might have actually even seen things like that. And the reality is that if you want to do this the right way, you actually have to do this like a business. You have to build up to the point where you can go ahead and actually scale up to the point of monopoly. Okay? So let's start out at this point. We say, okay, so now that we understand the whole process, how are we going to start out at Pro? Okay, if I want to go and start using Pro, how can I get started? And there are 3 or 4 questions I've already seen about how do I find the right products? How do I make sure that the products are profitable? How do I get the right training? Things like that. Okay, so there's a whole platform for this that we built. It's called DS Domination. I'm going to show you guys in a second. But the way that we structured it is very unique. Instead of going out and saying, yeah, pay us $5,000 or we are going to not give you anything, we said, hey, we want you to succeed. We want you to actually get awesome results. So we are going to actually make it free or nearly free for you to get into it. Okay? So to start out at the Pro stage, your total cost for all the training, all the information, weekly trainings, live trainings, and all of the actual software that you're going to use for this, which I'm going to show you in a second, it's going to cost you basically $19.95. So about the cost of 2 large pizzas in the US. Okay? But we want to even make that free for you. So here's how the whole thing works. You're going to go in when you first create your account at DS Domination, and you're going to go to something called the cash out offers. Okay, you're going to go to this cash out offers page, and where we have basically hooked up with a bunch of companies, and we say, listen, when you create an account here, you fill out a Discover card. Discover says to us, we're going to pay you $45. We just pass the $45 on to you. Okay, so within the first 10 minutes of you being a member of DS Domination, which is going to cost you $19.95, you would have made $45 just from this. Okay. Now let me explain what happens with Pro. Idea behind Pro is selling using Amazon and eBay. So what we did is we actually included a very unique software in here which actually finds the awesome deals for you. So what I did in this particular example is I typed in the word crossbow. Okay, and it's showing me all of these products on Amazon. It's showing me their price points. It's showing me their ratings and all that stuff. Here's what I want to do. I want to sell good products as quickly as possible with solid profit margins, right? So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to type in and say, show me only products that have a rating of greater than 4, okay, because I don't want to sell bad products. So when you do that, instantly you'll see that it removed all of the bad products. Now it's only showing me those products that have 4.2, 4.6, 4.5, and so on. Now we can also change this here. We're going to say, show me only products that cost more than $70, okay, so more than even $60, and their old price, which is the market value of this out there right now, is greater than, let's say, 70. Okay, so we know there's a profit margin in there. When we do that, immediately it starts compressing them down for us, and it shows us this example. For example, $154 on Amazon. Market value that it used to sell on Amazon for is for $199. This is included in Pro because this is all about leveraging Amazon. Okay. Here's another one, 307 and old price 349. You can find some really good ones just doing stuff like this. It's super, super easy how well this works and how easy it is to do this. And we can even actually find a lot better options if we just change our settings a little bit more. Here's one, $47 on Amazon. Its market value, what it has sold for, is $88.99, so 89 bucks. Basically, 100% profit margin, nearly. Okay, so this is how easy it is if you're actually using Pro, and we have made it already basically free for you, more than free for you actually, made it basically profitable for you to sign up and start using the whole process. So for you to come in at this stage of Pro is going to cost you $19.95, which is a monthly thing. You pay this for all the weekly trainings, you pay this for all of the software, and all that stuff is included in that. And basically in the first 10 to 15 minutes, you can actually make more than that back just using the cash out offers. But even if you didn't, even if you were just using the training, just selling on eBay, does anybody have any doubt that you could not make far more than that in your first month just copy pasting stuff using this system? Just getting the product from our software, copy pasting it from Amazon to eBay, titling it the way Roger teaches, setting up your account the way Roger teaches, just doing all of that process and basically generating a few $100s a month. That's not hard to do. And if anybody else has a doubt that that's hard to do, please go ahead and type and say, I don't know if I can do this. And you've just proved that you could do it because you've been able to type into the chat box. Okay? Then we're going to use our profits from this point. We're going to use the profits and we're going to move to Elite. Now in Elite, remember, we have a lot more training, a lot more stuff going on, and we also have unique software for Elite. Now in Elite, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here. We have a lot more sources to choose from. We have a lot more marketplaces. We have a lot more sources where we're going to get suppliers, where we're going to get the products from. All you're going to do in Elite is we have our own difference scraper. You're going to type in how much money you want to make per sale. You're going to type in a search term, and you're going to select one of the suppliers that we make available in here. And here's what's going to happen. It's going to pull up this, and it's going to tell you, this is what's available for on the site. This is what you should list it for if you want to make $21, including all of the eBay and PayPal fees. Okay? So this is how easy it is. You just type this in, you say how much money you want to make per sale, click submit, it's going to show you the deals, you're going to open this up, copy paste the information over to eBay or whatever other marketplace you want to sell it on, and you are good to go. Okay? That's how awesome this is. This also has its own unique training. It has its own live weekly webinars that we do to help you guys go even faster with this and all of that good stuff. Now the Elite costs $99 a month. Now note that we are not saying, hey, even if you don't have the money, go take out a loan and pay us all this money. We're saying start where you feel comfortable. Start with Pro. If that's where you're comfortable, build up the money, use that money to get to Elite. Once you're comfortable with Elite, move on to Unleashed. Unleashed costs a one-time $249. Okay? And that's a one-time. Now, you can use your profits from Elite or Pro to just get Unleashed. And then finally, we move on to Monopoly. This is the part where, like I said, there are people out there just selling this one little bit of information without the software, without the UPC code system, without any of that stuff. They're just selling information of thousands of dollars. What we said is, okay, we want to actually make this profitable for you guys. You're already making money at this point. You're just going to spend $4.99 of that, again, one time to get to Monopoly, and you're going to start selling massively using Amazon, Google, and eBay, and actually a couple other things in there. Okay? So this is the whole setup that we have going. And instead of trying to get you guys to spend a bunch of money right off the bat and saying, go all in and give us all your money, we are all about meeting you where you are and making sure that you guys actually have a pathway to success. Okay? So this is our whole business model built around the drop shipping side of things. Okay? So if you guys are interested in this at all, we're going to jump to questions and answers very soon, and we're going to go over step 3, which is where we're going to take this to a whole new level. But before we do that, because I see already there are a bunch of people asking this, what we want you to do is, if you're looking to sign up for this, go ahead and go to dsdomination.com/signup. Okay? And here's what's happening when you guys are doing that. I'm going to go ahead and open this in a new page. You guys can see the page that you're going to see. This is what the page will look like. Okay. You're just going to go ahead and fill out this page, and it's going to tell you who your referrer is. Now, the person who invited you to this webinar is the one who should be your referrer. If you don't see them as your referrer here, then go ahead and ask them for their link again or something like that. You might have signed, you might have joined the webinar from a different page, but make sure that you get the right referrer here. Check the boxes, click on this. It's going to take you to the checkout, and you can get started with Pro right off the bat. If you are somebody who says, you know what, Pro is awesome, but I really want to start making even more, so I want to start with Elite, you'll be given the option to get to Elite right away. Or if you want to get Unleashed, you can get that right away as well. So you have that freedom. There is the complete flexibility available inside for you to choose what you want. Now, does anybody have any questions so far about the drop shipping model? And I'm going to go ahead and just put this link in the chat so everybody gets it, and I'm going to put it right here so all of you guys can see it very clearly.
Hey, Tesh, I learn something every time you present, and when you're talking about how we're different and we're not going to charge $10,000, $2,000, $20,000, I want you guys to take a moment and recognize that we could have presented this entirely different. We could have shown what I showed in the beginning, then showed items making hundreds of dollars, showed items making thousands of dollars, told you guys this amazing system, you're going to start making tens of thousands of dollars next week. It's only $1,997. Had you guys get some people to purchase, then talked about a mastermind session that's $129 a month. Had this, we just don't do that. We come from a background where all we do is we preach. The average person has to win. And we know, starting from free and building up, we know that we've now taken it from a very dirty, scummy internet place, and now put the onus on you to use your logic here and then go beyond that and put a little bit of effort in to take one more shot at changing your life when probably you've been mistaken by several opportunities already. So we're super proud, to be quite honest, of what we're doing here. Now, Hitesh is going to start grabbing your questions, but what's going to happen is we have a lot of folks that are hitting us and going over and signing up now. We can actually see them coming in and getting ready to change their life. After we answer the questions, okay, we want to do a clear dividing line. Hitesh is going to put up a screenshot of people that have graduated. They've graduated where they've gone through the Pro, they've gone through the Elite, they've gone through the Unleashed, and they've gone through the Monopoly. And they certainly didn't stop selling. They're still selling, but they had this incredible desire to start sharing this with other people. Obviously, we all know people, and once we see something successful, we want to share it and help other people. It's just natural. It occurs naturally with us. So these guys graduated, and while they're doing all of the steps that you guys are just discovering, they went out and started sharing it and making a small fortune. Well, it's not even a small fortune anymore. And Tesh is going to show you what they got paid for going out and sharing the program with others while they're still participating in the eBay, the Google, the Amazon, the whole process. So when he starts this next segment, when people come back, he's going to show you exactly what people did that are experts and that are just getting going, but they're so gung-ho to share this. We wanted to make this very lucrative for people that want to tell other people. So he's going to show you how you go from this business model of copying and pasting to a business model of thinking, you know what, that even seems like work. I don't even want to do that. I just want to have residual income the rest of my life, which is the last and final stage, and Hitesh is going to bring that in just a second, but we'll grab some questions really quick.
All right. Yeah, let's just answer some of the questions quickly while people are signing up right now. I know there are quite a few people going through the process at the moment. So while they're doing that, we're going to answer some of the questions very quickly, okay? And then we'll move on to step 3. And like Roger said, without hyping it, we're going to show you some results, and I'm going to actually, again, the same way, we're going to walk you through in a very logical process with this, okay? So first of all, I'm just going to answer a question that should apply to everything because there's always this question in the back of people's minds. Is this legal? Is this right? Is it against POS? Things like that. it is not only legal, it is beyond legal. Actually, eBay encourages you and tells you that one of the ways of selling things is using dropshipping. Okay, so eBay is actually very, very open about that. They're very happy to accommodate that. What they don't want is people trying to game it. They don't want people who are really bad at it or people who really have no intention of providing a product. So they have some conditions in place for that to keep themselves safe. And majority of the things are going to be related to that. Okay, here's the page from eBay where eBay itself talks about product sourcing, which is dropshipping. Okay, and here is what they say. Product sourcing, sometimes called dropshipping, is one way to sell items on eBay. Sellers using a product sourcing service never handle the item. Instead, it is sent directly from a warehouse to the buyer. That's what we're doing here. And as you can see, this is from eBay itself. This is not somebody's opinion. This is not somebody on a blog. This is not one of our plans like some companies like to do. This is not somebody we planned it out there to put this out there. This is exactly what people do. This is what has been done for decades. And like we said, we have thousands of people doing this. Okay, so this is very, very valid and very true. Okay. Now, the other question is, do you have step-by-step training about this? What if I get lost? Absolutely. What you saw is like not even 2% of all the depth that we go into our training. So what you'll see is right here in DS Domination Pro. If you just have that, we have all of these training videos. We have the software in there. We have the sales tracking system to help you track your sales even better. And on top of that, let's say you do have more questions and you say, I don't understand some of this. What do I do? You can come to our live training sessions every week. Okay, so if you go to the live training page, you're going to get your link. You're just going to register for this live webinar. You can come to the webinar, ask all the questions that you want, and we will take care of you on the live webinars as well. Okay, and that's held every week. So you guys don't have really anything to worry about in terms of will I have enough information or not. Okay. Okay, let's see. Can you sell on eBay without an eBay account? No, you actually have to have an eBay account to sell on there. I have another person asking, can I sell, basically if I have restriction on my eBay, can I sell somebody else? Yes. Okay. Now, if you have issues with eBay, which some people do, you might have tried selling in the past, done something, got your account suspended, or things like that, you can still use Elite, because in Elite, we are not restricted to just eBay. Okay. So like we showed you over here, this is our kind of the growth plan. In Elite, we are selling on eBay and Google, and actually a whole network. It's not just Google. We also, the same thing is going to be happening here with Monopoly. You're selling on Amazon and Google and eBay. So if you have a problem with eBay and you can't use that, that's fine. You can still use Elite. You can still use Monopoly. But eBay is the best and the easiest way to get going, to get some of your first sales in, get your feet wet, understand the system a little bit. Okay? So if you have access to it, use that. If you don't have access to it, then you can move on and you can start using Elite. Okay. Can I sell if I'm overseas? Absolutely. If you're overseas, if you're international, there are slightly different steps that you have to take. Okay? And those slightly different steps are different depending on some of the countries that you're in. And we actually cover those within our trainings as well. So we explain in what instance, let's say you're in UK, here's what you need to do. You're in Canada, here's what you should do. And all of that kind of stuff. And in some cases, actually, the potential for some people who are international is much greater than people who are even in the US, because those are open markets. Okay? Those are markets that haven't been really used a lot yet, or there's a lot of potential there that has never been tapped into. So you have a lot more possibilities with some of these international places. So you have that ability, and like I said, if you're in a place and you don't know exactly what to do, you can jump on our live webinar every week. We hold the pro training every Wednesday. We hold the elite training every Friday. You can come on there. You can ask your questions, and we'll take care of you. Okay? All right. I think that answers a vast majority of the questions. If I missed any questions, okay, just go ahead and put those back in a few minutes, because we're going to cover more Q&A right after I finish explaining step 3. Okay? Now, step 3 is very, very important for what we all really want. Okay? If we really stop for a second and consider why do we really want the money? We want the money so we have freedom to be with our family, to do what we want, to live life a little bit more differently than what we're living right now. Really, we are seeking out happiness and freedom, right? this is a beautiful business model, okay? There is absolutely nothing that even comes close to beating this in terms of ease of use and how quickly you can get going on this. We have people who start out complete newbies, and their first week, they're out there making, their first $1,000. Happens all the time. I'm not saying that happens with everyone, but it happens quite often, and it's wonderful to see that, okay? But that has one drawback to it, which is once you get to the point where you're doing $10,000, $15,000 a month in profits with this, you are really trying to keep up with a lot of orders coming in. You do have to be kind of close to your computer and all that stuff. There's the whole passivity really isn't there. Okay, so here is what we modeled our whole total business plan on. What we did is we go and we look at what do we all kind of try to, what do we all try to aim for when we are starting out our careers. This is basically the average person's hopes, an average person's way that their life goes currently, okay? This is their income, okay? And this is their age. And obviously most of us, I'm going to say let's start this at 14, okay? And we're going to end this at 80. Let's say 100, okay? You're all going to live very long. Just because you're on the webinar. Awesome. So we have this going on here. And here's what happens. We all start out with very low incomes. So we are all kind of like that in that stage. When we start out, we have almost no income. Then we move on. We start generating a little more income. In our peak of our life, between the ages of 35 and 55, usually we make the most money. Okay. So in this area is when we make the most money. And then our income starts declining. Okay. The idea behind this is, though, what we want to do at this stage is we start transferring our income so that it's no longer dependent on labor, but it's dependent on maybe our investments or on different kind of ideas. Okay, that's what we try to do in our life. So at this point, we want to start making passive income. So the end of our life, we don't have to work for it all the time. Okay, this is the same model here. You started out, you had nothing. Over here, you had pro, you started making money. Over here, you had elite, you started making more money. Then you got unleashed. You really started making money, and you used Monopoly to really peak out and make a bunch of money over here. But now you're not looking for a lot of money. You're looking for a little bit more freedom. Okay. So for that, what we did is we went out and we created a whole separate step 3, where you basically can use the entire DS Domination system and leverage it as an affiliate. Okay. Now here are actually some of the results from the last 30 days alone of some of our affiliates. And like I made a note up here, these are not necessarily the top affiliates. These are not the people who are necessarily making the most money. There are obviously going to be a lot more money who are people who are not making any money either. But this is what's going on with the affiliate side of things. Okay, now this is in addition to the income that they are making with dropshipping itself. Like you can see, this is all in addition to that. And we have somebody who did about $14,500 almost in their first month. We have 8,000, 3,500, 9,000, so on and so forth. You can see there's a lot of really, really good numbers here. Okay. Now, here's how this thing plays out, and here's why this is a very, very unique way to approach this, and why this is so passive compared to everything else that we just showed you. Here's how this works. When you start out as an affiliate in any company or with any system, okay, you basically are entering a relationship with a company where there are 3 participants. There is the customer, there is the company or the product, the vendor if you want to call them that, and then there is you. Okay? Now here's what happens traditionally. You go out and you acquire a customer for the customer pays the company pays you. Okay? The customer usually pays some dollars and the company pays you slightly less dollars. Okay? And here is the problem here. The core problem here is that all of these companies, if you've ever been involved in network marketing, for example, you know this. All of these companies, they rely on now trying to get this customer to refer other people. Okay? And that doesn't happen. The customer is not going to be successful. The customer is making almost no money in here. Regardless of that, whatever their habits are, maybe they don't like the toothpaste you're selling them, or they don't like the coffee that you're selling them, whatever it is, they drop out because they are not making enough money in this relationship to justify spending all that money, which means when they stop doing this, the company stops paying you and you're back to square one. You have to start all over. So there are 3 conditions for this kind of an affiliate relationship to work out. Okay, and the three conditions basically are that it needs to be residual, it needs to be leverageable, there should be leverage in there, and that it should be self-sufficient, okay, or sustainable. And here's what that means. The equation is very simple. If the green dollars coming into the user, to the customer, is greater than the red dollars he's paying the company, the customer is going to stick around forever and you're going to make a lot of income, okay? The residual income part, here's how it plays out. So you are an affiliate for DS Domination, and you, let's say, share on Facebook the kind of results that you're getting using the eBay selling, or the kind of results you're getting just with dropshipping in general. We get these customers, you start getting customers. The customer is now paying $19.95 a month residually, right? And you are actually getting a 50% commission on that. Okay, so you guys are actually getting a 50% commission on every sale on level 1. Okay, now you can imagine why that would be really, really good, because if you make 2 sales, you're making all of your cost back right off the bat. But at the same time, as this continues to grow, your residual income continues to grow. When this user, when this customer now follows this pathway and he goes from pro on to elite, now you're suddenly making an extra $50 a month. When he goes from elite and he purchases unleashed, now you made $125. When he goes to monopoly, you're going to generate another $250. So all of this is happening basically for you when your only job really was to share the kind of results you were getting using the dropshipping system, okay, which is ridiculously easy. That's why there are all these affiliates getting results like this. They're not going out there. They're not the best salesmen in the world. I've actually talked with some of them, and they really are not very good salesmen. So I'm just, not that they're not all, but it's just that this is how easy it is. But the second point you see here is leverage. Now, you cannot rely just on your own results. So what we did is that we built in a massive amount of leverage into the whole system. So when this customer follows this life cycle and eventually becomes an affiliate, when he makes any more recommendations, when he shares this on his Facebook wall or he shares it with his friends or whatever, that look, I'm making money using dropshipping, and somebody else joins it, you actually get paid on that as well. So you actually get level 1, you get 50%. Level 2, you get 10%. Level 3, you get 5%. Level 4, you get 3%, 2%, and then all the way from level 6 through 10, you get 1% more. Okay. Now, if you add it all up, that comes to basically 75%. The idea behind this is just that you're no longer restricted to just your own results. If at any of these points the whole system goes viral and other people start replicating the results, you start generating a lot of income. Okay, that's the whole idea behind this. The final thing is self-sufficiency, and this is really the kicker here. The reason why you're making these residual incomes forever, and the reason why our retention rate is so high, is because the customer is making a lot of money himself, right? In this case, the customer is a person who purchased DS Domination. They're already making revenue with this. So their costs are being offset. So we call this basically the cost offset model. Okay, so the cost offset model is basically where the customer's costs are being offset by the product. So when they're using DS Domination, their costs are offset. They're more than happy to stick on and continue paying DS Domination's fees every month, which means that you're getting paid that residual commission basically forever. Okay, and in fact, we have a very different trend here. Everything about our company is different. Right? Instead of having a really nice salesperson come and talk, we have me. Instead of having a really smart guy come and talk, we have Roger. Instead of having a really high ticket item, we have really cheap products. And instead of having a system that's designed to get money out of people, we have a system that's designed to put money in people's pockets. And the result for that is that all of these affiliates then start generating a massive income as well. Okay, so here is the graduation cycle. You go from basically just starting out having nothing all the way to making a whole bunch of money, and then you graduate on even to the affiliate side where you have a whole bunch of time, where you're not always working for your money, where you're not always managing orders on Amazon or on eBay or whatever, where now you actually have true passive income coming in. Okay, so that's the whole life cycle. And here's the thing. We could have started with this. Okay, think back. We could have started out showing you this and hyped you up on this and said, look at all this money these people are making, and it's passive. They're living the lifestyle. They're out on a beach. Don't you want to be on a beach? We didn't do that because this dream that all of us have of living that lifestyle is the end result. It's not where you begin. And if you try to begin there, you're going to fail. So this is the end result. You actually have to be running a profitable business before you get to that stage. And that's why we really structured this whole thing out in these 3 steps. Step 1, let's get you profitable and piggyback. Step 2, let's scale the business up and make a bunch of money. Step 3, let's now focus on automated income, on leverage growth, and make sure that it's all self-sustained. Okay? Now, there's still just one little problem with this final thing, which is, yeah, that sounds awesome on paper, but what about the fact that you really don't know how to market? And what about the fact we don't really want to spend the time on trying to teach you how to just become a great marketer? So what we did is that we tied in another system in here, okay, which is what we call Market Extreme. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys really quickly how Market Extreme works as well. There's a bunch of training, but who cares about training, right? We don't want to be trained. We just want to see results. So what happens with Market Extreme is that we have all these opt-in pages and sales systems and sales funnels already created for you. And if you guys want to build a list on autopilot, let's say, you guys have probably heard the money's in the list and blah, blah, blah. You just select if you want to build a list in Aweber or GetResponse. You select your template, or you can just even rotate templates automatically. And you're just going to say, all right, I'm done. This is now my sales funnel. It's entirely done. So remember right in the beginning how I explained that this whole process is where a lot of people just never succeed? Well, we took out all of this process for you. So we said, all right, we're going to take care of your sales funnel. We're going to do the content. We're going to do the follow-ups. We're going to do everything on your behalf. The only job that you would have left is traffic, right? But then we went a step further. We said, okay, you want to do traffic, that's great. But if you don't want to do traffic, you can actually come in here and you can actually buy straight up traffic and leads as well. And we will go out and generate the traffic and leads on your behalf. Now, the reason we can do that and the reason we are so happy doing that is because we know for a fact the type of results we get. We know from our numbers this is very successful. We know for a fact that our conversions are high and our retention is high. So we are very happy to do this on behalf of our users. So you guys who are kind of struggling, you're like, I don't know if I can market. I don't know if I want to market. You can actually go in here, become an affiliate, and start generating a massive income just with that on true autopilot as well, because you have all of these leads and traffic that you can generate, all of the sales funnel that's done for you. And for example, the webinar that you're on right now. The webinar that you're on right now, the referrer who referred you to this is not the one doing the presentation. He's not even here. They might not even know that you are here. But you are here. You're getting exposed to one of the only true actual models and systems that actually works today. And when you sign up, they're making a bunch of commissions today. And that's awesome. That's how systems should be. We don't hate that people are making commissions. We're happy because they are generating commissions from your success, not from your failure. Unfortunately, what has happened so far is most companies, the only way that you can make money is by trying to sucker somebody else into spending a bunch of money with that company. Okay? And without naming a lot of names, you guys can imagine 5,000 names off of the top of your head. The only way that an affiliate would usually make money is they'd go out there and they'd say, hey, customer, why don't you spend $1,000 with the company so I can make $300? We say the opposite. We say, listen, go tell the customer he can make a lot of money for free using our platform because he has the cash out offers, because he's going to be making money with the pro and all those things, and you are still going to get commissions on that. Okay? So that's a totally different model, and that's why it's so successful. And this is, I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Everybody else does it the other way. Everybody else goes out there and tries to get you to recommend other people pay their money. And eventually the company fail and you fail. In our case, it's the opposite. We say, listen, don't worry about how much money the company makes or you make right now. Just introduce them to a platform that's basically free, and actually opposite of free, because they're going to make money right off the bat. They're going to make money with their pro training. We give them all the software and all the stuff that we could be charging thousands for. Let them be successful. And that's what's showing up here. Instead of people focusing just on the affiliate side, they're just focusing on helping all these people out. And these are the kind of results they're making as a result. So it's super awesome. It's really fun. We love it, obviously, because we created it. Well, actually, I created it, but we let Roger in. I'm kidding. Obviously, this was all Roger. But this is all Roger. But the idea is that this is awesome because this is getting results for people. 97% of people fail in other companies. We actually have a 90% plus retention rate. Okay, so we have that many people who are actually sticking around even after getting going. Okay, everything with this is available to you right off the bat. We don't do all of that trickery. You might have been part of other companies where what they'll do is they'll say, oh, here are 20 videos. We're going to unlock the first 5 for you, and the next 5 we'll unlock next month. You might be able to force some people to get retention like that. We give you everything right off the bat. You go in here, you start using it. Our aim is for you to make money in your first week. Okay, we don't want you to just spend a bunch of money. We want to make you a bunch of money. So that's how this whole thing plays out. Now, the conditions on being an affiliate, there are really just 2 conditions. The first condition is you must be an active affiliate, which means that you pay $9.95 per month to be an affiliate. Now, the reason you pay that is, first of all, we give you access to a bunch of more marketing resources. We actually do a lot of follow-ups on your behalf. We do a lot of things on your behalf. We manage support on your behalf, all of that stuff. But we also do something that a lot of other people don't, which is we don't actually charge you the processing fees. So whenever somebody signs up, we actually have to pay the processing fees on it. Like you all know, when the credit card goes through, we pay the fee on that. We don't pass that fee on to you, and we just came up with a number that we felt was going to be very fair, that will cover up the commissions for most of the people. Okay, so that's why we have the affiliate fee. The other reason we have the affiliate fee is that we want to make sure that the only people who are becoming affiliates are people who are using the products, who have seen the products, or they understand the system. Okay. The other condition is that you must own the product or have recommended 3 sales. Okay. So if you're generating 3 sales of a product, or you own the product yourself, you can earn a commission on it. So let's say that you are an Elite member, you own Elite, you don't own Unleashed. When somebody comes in and they sign up for Unleashed, you will actually not get the commission on that. Unless you've generated 3 Unleashed sales, then you'll get commission on that. Now, we just did this for a simple reason. First of all, this is done to discourage people from becoming an affiliate first and then buy it with their own link, right? You know that people would try and do stuff like that. So we did that. It eliminates that problem. At the same time, this makes the system very fair because we have this blueprint. We've set out a blueprint that you go from this stage to affiliate. And it's great if you're a super smart marketer and you're ahead of everybody else. You want to start out at the affiliate stage, that's great. But we want you to be able to understand the system that you're promoting. We want you to be able to understand what you're doing with this. So that's why you also put this condition in. But like I said, you don't have to own the product. You can just you can send in 3 sales, and that will cover your qualification to earn commissions. Okay, so it's a very simple, straightforward system. There is no fangled affiliate thing going on here. There is no get 2 people and help them get 3 people and get them 8 people, and then you'll qualify for your first little car bonus or something like that. You want a car, here you go. This guy right here, he can go buy a car if he wants from his first 30 days of commissions, right? So we don't do any of that weird stuff. We don't like to make things very complex. It's a very straightforward system. Everything from how we actually generate income using eBay and the whole platform, all the way to our affiliate side of things, is very easy to understand, very straightforward, and hopefully it has been very straightforward for all of you on here as well. Okay. Do you guys have any more questions? Let's go ahead and go through some questions. And
hey, Tesh, I'm going to hop out here really quick. I just want to recap from start to beginning, and then answer a question. Nick asked a question, and you answered it, but Nick, it's even better than you've seen had Tesh answer that. So again, you guys, you start out from basically nothing. That's not a status of you in life. That's how easy it is to get started. And then you scale up. You're starting to make $5, $10, $15, $20 a sale, usually within 24, 48 hours. You have your $19.95 covered, and you're just absolutely itching to get into the elite and start making even more money. People transition to that elite very quickly. Then as you're going over to around the time you're going to elite or considering Unleashed, you're so excited. You're celebrating in our support groups, our Facebook groups. You can't help it. You will post your success on your Facebook wall, and somebody's going to ask. Okay? And then if you decide you want to be an affiliate for $9.95 a month, you can just send them over a little link where they can review a video that's pretty cool. If you've seen it, the one with me dancing with my daughter and things like that. And then when they decide they want to enroll, they're starting the same process. You can help them, or the support groups will help them, or the training will help them, or all encompassum. Everybody will in fact help them. and then you're going through and you're moving towards graduation, you're bringing in affiliates, you're making more money, and then now you're making a great source of revenue through Google, through Amazon, through all of these sources, and you're starting to really believe that you can retire, and now you're sharing that with other people, and then quite simply you do retire. What I wanted to tell you, Nick, because your question was so pertinent, what Nick was asking about if he had to own Elite to get commissions on that, and just as he was asking that, Hitesh was answering that. But this is how cool this company is. Nick, if you got in, you were at the 1995 level, and you got excited, and you shared that with your buddy Joe, for example, and Joe came in, and he got into 1995, and you got commissions, and then Joe got too excited, or faster, he got more excited than you, and he got the Elite before you did. You don't lose Joe forever. You don't lose those commissions ever. Next month, when Joe goes ahead and pays his monthly, you collect commissions on that. And there's other companies out there that would say, too bad, so sad, Nick, and use that as pressure on you, Nick, to get you to upgrade to everything for fear that Joe might upgrade and go by you and you'll lose Joe. But they do that because they don't have a viable product. Here we have a viable product. There's no reason for us to jump over and steal commissions and everything else for you. Question coming here, you're worried about saturation. Amazon has 26 million items, for example. Overall, there's over 100 million items. If we had 1 million members and we just crossed 4,000, you guys could each sell 100 items each and make $500 to $1,000 a month easily. We're also going to be going out and sourcing our own product lines and things like that, and Hitesh will bring up some data on that, but absolutely no saturation point for years to come. It's nearly impossible. I mean, even then we have that trumped. Somebody asked earlier if Monopoly was a one-time. Yes, Monopoly is a one-time. There's no monthly to that. Unleashed is certainly a one-time fee as well. We don't want some big, you guys be making money, but we don't want it to be the whole time. Okay, now you're making $500 a month, so we want to charge you $500 a month. Once you get going, we want you guys to keep the money, and we just want your stories so we can turn around and get those stories out to more people and more people and more people. There's a lot of people that might have missed it. I see them asking about niche marketing on eBay and how do you find what people are looking for. You don't go out and say, you know what, the new PlayStation 4 is coming out, let me try and source that. You go through the steps of typing in blue Amazon or cat Amazon, and you find some dishes, and you end up on a guy that sold a safe, and you say, well, that guy made it $50 or $60 on the safe, I'm good making 55, and you list that safe. There's zero thinking involved. You don't have to go out and go, you know what, my great uncle used to sell these pipes, and maybe I can make it. There's no thinking. You just go to Amazon, basically drool on yourself and type in a word, and then take that word and find a product, and take the first result and go over to eBay and see if somebody's selling that product and see what else they've sold successfully, and then undercut, no, title them, and that's it. So,
the drooling on yourself part comes from Roger's experience doing this.
Yes, I do a lot of drooling on myself. Are you seeing some questions and themes in here, Hitesh?
Yes. I actually saw a question, somebody asking how you take care of everything, how you follow, how do you keep track of all of your orders coming in and out and things like that. And then we had a question, the stand question about what if a customer sees the product came from Amazon, what happens then? Well, actually, we give you guys the spreadsheet to help you track everything. So let's say that you were making orders, an order came in on, let's say today. So we're just going to put 10-8 there. It's going to automatically convert that to Tuesday. You're going to put the customer's eBay ID there so you know who it was. So you're going to put their eBay ID. Let's say that I had come in and purchased something from you. Then it would be Hitesh's ID. And then the name would be obviously Hitesh. And then my customer email would be Hitesh is obviously better than, look at this, Roger, Dan.
DHAN, please.
Yes, thank you. And then the product URL is basically what the product was that was purchased. So if I came in and I purchased this Roger's pink I Love Roger dog hoodie thing, if I purchased that, then basically that's what you're going to put there. Yep. And then you're going to go ahead and put the sale price here. So in this case, the price of the sale was $38.68, right? Let's say that you sold it on Amazon, on eBay for, and you purchased it for $23.99. So you'll see, you'll just put $23.99 right here. And you're going to say, have I placed the order on Amazon already? Yes, I have. What is the expected delivery date of this product to the user? So let's say that it's 10/11. Okay, it's going to change that to Friday, October 11th for us automatically. And it's going to show you that, look, you just made a profit of $9.66. So you do this for the day. At the end of the day, it'll automatically tell you what your total profit for the day was. It keeps track of all of your orders easily. It's a very straightforward, simple thing. This is obviously included in Pro for you as well. Okay, so you guys can just go ahead and start using this. It'll make your life a lot easier when it comes to start tracking when you're doing a lot more orders at the same time. Okay, so there's that. Now the other question was about, well, what about if somebody gets a product and then they don't like the product and they want to refund it? Actually, if you go into the training, in the Pro training, I think it's module 11 or 13. It's one of them. It actually covers exactly how to make money on refunds. So if somebody returns a product and wants to return a product, you will actually be able to generate a profit even on that. Okay? So we're pretty awesome in that kind of stuff. So you'll be able to generate usually a profit even off of those. Even if you can, you're not going to lose any money doing it correctly. The other question was about how do people get in trouble because they're using Amazon? No, nobody gets in trouble for that. There is a small percentage of users who will order from eBay. When they get the box, you can open the box, you can look inside, they're going to say, look, looks like it's from Amazon, and they might say something like that. But that's less than 1% of the cases. Okay. In fact, I think Roger showed you guys the example of a user who has done roughly, what is it, Roger, now? About 40, 50,000 transactions? Renato?
Yeah, his feedback showed about 16,000, but people leave feedback about 1/3 of the time, so about 48,000 transactions.
Exactly. So roughly 50,000 transactions and a 99.1% feedback rate. Okay, just doing that. When Roger did this, basically this was the only thing he did. He ended up with nearly 100% feedback rate as well after having done thousands of products with that. So you guys don't have to be worried about that part at all. You are going, I'm going to tell you up front, you're going to get a very small percentage of users who will do that, but most of them are not even going to care. Okay. Now, if you're still worried about that, there's one thing you can do when you make your listings. You can include a statement in there which says, in case of stock shortage, we might use Amazon as our fulfillment or supplier. That's it. Now your users know that in case of a problem that you will use Amazon to supply them. I don't necessarily recommend that you do that, but you can do that if you're really, really worried about it. But again, there's no real issue with that whatsoever. Okay. Now, let me go back up and see if there are any questions that I missed.
Yeah, I had a really good question here. Let's see. In order to get paid, do we attach our bank account or something? In order to get paid on eBay, you will actually, when you make your first sale, they make it so easy. Remember, this is a multi-billion-dollar company that great-grandmas sell on. So they make it really easy. You'll get an email that says, hey, you have money. Click here to get it. And you click on it, and then it'll prompt you to set up your PayPal account. And then when you want to withdraw that money, it'll prompt you to attach a bank account or get a check mailed to you or whatever. Now, on the affiliate side, we're even better. If you're doing affiliate and you're making money, like you see in the top left attached to the screen there, you can get the money transferred directly to your bank very quickly. I think people are seeing a day or two. You can get that loaded onto one of your cards you already have. You can get a check mailed to you. You can send the money to Hitesh for working on his personality skills, whatever you guys want to do.
Or you can send it to him for donuts.
Hey, I noticed one of your screens up there had accent 40%. What was that all about? You working on something?
Accent 40%? No. It said 80%. I'm trying to master the Indian accent. I think it makes me sound more real.
You're doing good, you Irishman.
Thank you. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually Irish, and I just like to speak in an Indian accent.
All right, Tessie. Really Irish.
I just didn't fit in because I don't drink.
We get a little loose and goosey at the end
sorry.
of this here, guys. Sorry about that. We'll stay on task this time. Our members are like, here they go again.
Okay. So So we're going to come back from the fence of insanity that we were about to jump over. We're going to return back to the gentle pastures of sane, decent human conversation. So let's continue. Okay, the question about, okay, I'm sorry, I just missed that question. Okay, if I'm having issues with signing in or my sign up, where do I go? Just go to the contact us where you have support desk. Down here, you see this contact us. You get access to our support desk. Go open a support ticket there, and we will get you sorted out. Okay, so don't worry about that whatsoever. How long before the accounts activate? Okay, usually your account should activate right away unless you're using PayPal debit cards. There are some people who are using PayPal debit cards to purchase. If you joined just now and you used a PayPal debit card or something like that, then it takes a little bit of time because PayPal takes a while to send the payment out to us. So it just, that's just natural. But usually it's pretty much instantaneous. So we have like 5,000 users now. Which Roger, I didn't mention to you, but we had our 5,000th account created yesterday. So we have.
Well, thanks for the update.
You're welcome. So we have had
That's
a lot
not
of
a milestone or anything. Okay.
So usually that is pretty, like I said, it's pretty much on par. It's on time. So it should happen right off the bat. Can you pay your monthly fees from your current balance? We're working on that, Tina. Eventually you'll be able to get that option, but we have to be in existence for 3 months to do it beautifully and perfectly. Which reminds me, actually, there was a question early on about how old is this company? How long have you guys been doing this? Okay, now Roger has actually been teaching this method, the eBay training method, for roughly a year and a half, almost 2 years. And the way that he was doing this before, and this is where the dark side of Roger's past comes out, the way that Roger was doing this is that he would basically teach people this, and it was almost like a bonus. He'd say, listen, I'll teach you guys this, then you can use that money and you can join me in my network marketing company. And he was involved in different network marketing companies. There was Visalis and there was a couple others. And he was very quickly the #1 guy in those companies because of that. So if Roger Langille kind of rings a bell, that's why, because he's been like a big celebrity in all of these different companies. Now, the problem is, the reason we actually came up with this whole DS domination thing is the same thing. We did basically the same thing that we are doing with DS domination, which is teach them step 1, then teach them step 2, and then for step 3, we would say, go join this network marketing company, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to make all this money. But the reality is that did not happen, right? Majority of the time, this is the same problem that I highlighted. The cost offset model doesn't exist, so it just doesn't happen. So most of the people were making money in step 1 and 2 and not making money in step 3. Okay, so we got together, we said, all right, let's go ahead and figure out a system where we have control over step 3, where we have this kind of a model going, where we can control what kind of results people get, and we are able to do some good things out of that. So we combined all of that. We added all the software in. We didn't have software at first, so we went ahead and built out the software. I say we, but it was more Roger was whipping me, saying, you better produce the software, you coder and whatever. So we produced the software out, and we put the softwares in. We broke this down into Elite, Unleashed, Monopoly. We put Monopoly in there. We added the affiliate system in there. We just did a lot of work over it, and we finally took this whole system live about a month and 16 days ago. Okay, so 46 days ago we went live with it, and insane growth. You might not have actually heard of us in the beginning because we did not do what majority of the companies anymore seem to do. Majority of the companies go out there, they don't have a product, they don't have anything. They'll put up this pre-launch. We are in pre-launch and we are awesome. Everybody's going to make money, and this is hype bonanza all over the place. Everybody's talking about how great it'll be. And then they launch, and then it completely collapses like 2 months later. That's why you might not have heard of us, because we didn't do that. What we did is we actually went out. We had a core group of people that we said, here's the training, go through the training, try it out, see what happens. They start using the training. They go out there. They start spreading the word. It virally grows from there. And within our first month, we had, like I said, we just had our 5,000th account created yesterday. Okay, so yeah, it's been a really, really beautiful thing to see, because this is what we all really strive for, which is an organic growth, right? It's like people are getting results and they're posting it on their Facebook saying, I just had these awesome results. And then all these other people are signing in and joining with them. And most companies will never see that. Most companies never ever see that. But even more awesome than that is that, like I said earlier, we have a roughly 90% retention rate, okay? So the people who joined us in month 1, roughly 90% of them stayed on for month 2, okay? Now the industry standard is between 40 to 60%, and that depends on whether or not you have a digital product or a physical product. When you have a physical product involved that you're shipping out to people every month, then it's higher. It's closer to 65, 70%. When it's a digital product, then it's closer to 40 to 50%. We have a 90% retention rate. As a digital product company, we are beating out the retention rate of any physical products out there. So it's really awesome to see that. Again, this is not about, look at us, we're so awesome. This is about trying to show you guys why we are successful. We are not successful because Roger is so awesome, or because he isn't, or because Hitesh is so awesome, even though he is. We are successful because we just are doing things right. Our focus is right. Our focus is on presenting a business model that works for the average person. Our focus is not on trying to get a bunch of money out of people, right? So today we had hundreds of people on the webinar. If we really went after you guys and I put on my best Irish accent, we could have probably tried to get, $20, $50, $60,000 out of people just charging them $1,000. And we just don't believe in that. We think that's completely wrong. We think that's unethical almost. But we can debate the ethics of it all, as much as we want. We just believe this is all about making sure that you guys get a really good result out of this. You don't need to buy a domain name. You don't need to buy a website. You don't need to get Google rankings. You don't need to generate any traffic. You don't need to do backlinking. You don't need to be a salesperson. You don't need to write any articles. You don't need to do any of those things whatsoever. Okay, so just forget about all of that. Just go to this link right here, dsdomination.com/signup, create your account, and just devour the pro training, okay? Create your account, get pro, devour the pro training. If you're somewhat experienced or you just are focused on making more money than just pro, get elite, devour all the training. Go through it all from beginning to end, then follow it step by step by step, okay? There is no way that you cannot succeed just doing that, okay? And if you are somebody who's really strapped for cash, you're like, I don't know if I can spare $20 right now, that's fine. We understand your position. That's why we have this section here. Okay, you can come to cash out offers, go over here. You can get $45 for filling out a Discover card thing. You can get $12 for getting a trial with free credit score. You can order a Santoku knife for $3 and get $8 for that. So there's all this funny stuff that you can do right here to make your money back immediately. Okay, so that's the whole thing. We are smart. If you have a smartphone, Joe, you can use that to listen to the trainings. We are using Vimeo with all the advanced options, so we are responsive, which means when you go to us with a mobile device, you can listen to the videos on there just with the mobile device as well. Okay. Ken just got another eBay sale right now while on the webinar, which is awesome, Ken. That's actually what we love seeing. Being burnt by companies. Why must you put a real name and address on account? Okay, here's the thing, Keith. Actually, you know what? I'll just put this out there for you. If you don't want to put your real name in our system, that's fine. You'll need to use your right information, obviously, when you're paying for it. The credit card companies are going to verify that's right. But you can go to the affiliate section and go to personal profile, and you can put whatever name you want to put in there. If you want to put in, I'm Roger's little brother or Roger's donut or whatever, you can do that. That's completely fine. Nick has been getting sales while listening. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Roger.
I sound like the Pillsbury Doughboy. You can make me giggle just every time you say donut. Donut.
That's actually the sound he used to make. All right. I think we've gone through all the questions. I think we did a better job this time than we have done in the past because we are actually not getting as many questions because we covered most of the things during the talk about everything awesome. Already.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're getting there. I'm rolling right into Google Hangout at 11 with the team, which is going to be exciting. So, guys, we're just here. Just it's $20. just go and rip it and trust us. You're going to make a lot of money if you just stick with us and don't fight it and just go through the steps. So, welcome to all the people that jumped back in and said, we're in, we're excited. And they're half watching the webinar and half watching the videos getting started. Just, we better shut up.
Yeah, that's good. That's what we want you guys to do, okay? Forget about the webinar at this point. If you're already in there, listen to the videos. Roger is actually a lot more professional in those videos, and he's a lot more pleasant as well. So listen to him there. It's way better. And then, yes, Renaissance, we actually go through the process of creating your eBay account, the first time, what it would look like, how you go through the process. That's all covered in there. We cover the PayPal account creation. All of that is in their training as well. Just go through that. And there are 2 or 3 questions that I know that I missed earlier. Oh, there was one which was about, can we get into niche markets, or can we do niche market stuff with this? Yes, you can. But you know what our recommendation is, that at these levels, at Pro and Elite, you're not really trying to develop a niche market. You're really trying to make a lot of money with a lot of different products. And when you find niche markets within those, go for them. When you get to the final stage with Monopoly, you're going to be selling on Amazon. At that point, you're really going to focus on 5 to 10 products that you really develop out. You get the cheapest deal on them. You get them in bulk, sell them in bulk. You're going to make a lot more money doing that. Okay, so yes, it kind of depends on your platform at that point and what you're trying to do with it. You can even do something that's called private labeling. So you can actually develop your own brand in there at virtually no cost if you do it right. And we actually have some stuff covering that too. So lots of really awesome, beautiful stuff in there. Just honestly, just go through it, enjoy it, learn everything that's in there. And make sure that once you go through it and you're making money, go in and send some support ticket things about, I've shipped the donuts to Roger, or what's Roger's address, I need to ship him a big box of donuts, things like that. That's really all we need.
Yeah, why don't you throw your address up on the screen there really quick. Somebody just topped in here, only seen the first 3 letters are DEA, just said they just bought Monopoly. Excited about that.
Yep.
So I'm going to, Dean, awesome. Yeah, you're going to have a blast with that. And if there's anybody on here from Canada, I just alluded to different markets or have incredible advantages in different regards. And one of them is the Canadian Monopoly selling on Amazon that I just completed last night, and the videos are in Kevin's Skype. He's just got to upload them, and I was finding stuff that was like $56 was the source, and it was selling for $300-400 on Amazon. And up in Canada, actually I grew up in Nova Scotia, the shipping is the issue because of the sparsity compared to the United States and the vastness of Canada. But where you got free shipping from sites that takes care of that, you guys up there are just going to crush it. So if we have any Canadians on board here, you're going to have a good time with this.
And you guys will see that in there tonight. I just got done uploading them.
See, that's Hitesh's real thing when he's not doing his 80%.
This is how I talk when I'm not using my Indian accent.
Wow, you're like that guy in House, Hitesh, where he's British, but he does the American version.
Wait, thank you very much.
No, see, you lost it there. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to step away for a second and say goodnight to everybody. I'll leave it in the capable hands of Kevin Hokawana from Japan, who just joined, who serves in the Air Force, to close this out for me. Thanks, guys. I'll be back.
No, that was awesome. I loved watching that. I was watching most of it, guys. I was doing some work in the background, but I wish I could stand up and give these 2 a round of applause because they're just amazing. I mean, Hitesh and Roger, you guys are.
You can.
You can, yeah. You can stand up and you can give us a round of applause. We will not mind whatsoever.
Well, I can't clap for both of you at the same time.
Just clap for Roger. He needs it more.
There you go.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. It'll get to his head.
Yeah.
Why are you still here, Roger? I thought you were leaving.
All right, he's gone. Okay, guys,
Good.
Let's get this party started. Are you ready? Who's ready? All right. Jim says he's ready.
Okay. Well, the videos for Canadian Monopoly are actually in Monopoly training. So if you go to Monopoly right here, you'll see DS Domination Monopoly. You can buy UPC codes here, or you can see your UPC codes that are already active there. Within these modules lie the secret Canadian videos. and that let you guys do a lot more. And then here's the thing. Actually, as we're expanding our membership base, what's happening is we're getting all these people who are coming in from UK, or they're coming from Korea, or, well, not a whole lot from Korea yet, but there's all these people coming in, and they're all saying, hey, what about this, or what about that? Can we do something that's more devoted just for us? So when that happens, we actually go ahead and we build out a whole section, and we try to do trainings just for those people as well. So if you're in a different part of the world, and you know that there are a lot of other people doing this as well, or you know that you have a team that you're going to bring in and a bunch of people who are going to be doing this, just let us know. And if we can, we will accommodate for it. We'll give specific tips or specific ideas for those specific nations as well. I just used specific about 4 times in the same sentence. I'm more specific out. And Kevin, is there are there any other videos left?
Yes, we got the Canadian Monopoly 1, 2, and 3 that'll be up there tonight. They're being converted over right now on video.
Beautiful. Okay, somebody's asking about how do I activate different things. And Jane, I don't think we got your question earlier. I know that you were looking for an answer, but I don't know if we just missed your question. Oh, there it is. Okay, your question was, is there any software in Pro to help make titles? There is a whole video and there is a tool for titling in there, but there is no true software for it. Okay, and there's a reason why you don't have a true software for it. Titling happens in your brain, okay? And there is a way that we make the titles work. So we actually have a training video that walks you through the process of creating them, but there is no software that can automatically do it for you. Because if there was a software that automatically did it, here's what would happen. eBay would take that software, eBay would use that automatically to spin the titles on a single few listings that they have, and they would dominate the industry themselves. Okay, but there is so far no software developed, despite all the claims by the charlatans and snakes oil men out there. There is no software that mimics the human brain. Okay, so there is a process that you go through, and that will take care of it for you. There is a tool that will help you with it, but there is no one software that will create the titles automatically for you. Okay, but just walk through that training. I'm kind of underselling you on how good the training is on that and how good the tool is for that. But there is stuff in there specifically for titling. Okay, can I pay the monthly fee through PayPal? No, unfortunately, we cannot accept PayPal, not because we don't want to, but because it's against PayPal's rules to basically have a multi-tiered system. So as you know, in our affiliate side, you saw that we have multiple tiers of commissions that we pay out, and PayPal doesn't like that. PayPal says, no, we don't want to do that. And I don't really blame them at all either, because historically, most network marketing or MLM companies that typically use these type of commission structures, they're not really very good. They kind of end up hurting people, because people only sell these things to other people to make a commission instead of the value of the product itself. So I totally understand why they would do that. Okay, is it true that we must continue paying $19.95 and $99 per month to earn affiliate commissions when new people join our team at either Pro or Elite? Okay, yes, you have. Okay, no, Keith, here is how it works. There are 2 conditions for you to earn commissions. One, you could just own the product yourself. See right here, you must own the product. So if you own Pro, you are going to be earning any commissions that you get from referring others to it. So if I have Pro and I refer Kevin, Kevin joins Pro, I get the commission on it. Okay, but let's say that I referred Kevin and I referred Roger and I referred you, Keith. Okay, at that point I already have 3 sales. I have 3 sales that I've already made in the system. If I don't have Pro, I would not have received commissions on those 3 sales. But from that point on in the future, I will get those sales. And again, the logic behind it is very straightforward. This is done purely to prevent fraud. Okay, because what happens is, if you give out commissions without any qualification, without any condition on that whatsoever, what happens is all these people come in, they use fake credit cards or they use stolen credit cards, they do stuff like that. They will basically buy products, they'll create accounts and buy products on somebody else's behalf, get commissions for it, wait till the commissions come in, and then they'll try and get the money back on those accounts. We just basically don't have any tolerance for that whatsoever. So other than all of our fancy stuff that we have to prevent that from happening, we put this condition in that keeps us very safe, it keeps everybody else very safe, and it makes logical sense, right? If you're following our business plan here, if you're going from Pro to Elite to Unleash, Monopoly, Affiliate, then you already have that, so you guys don't need to even think about it. Okay? And Jane, yes, you can. And actually, that particular company you just mentioned is part of Elite training as well. Okay, so we actually covered that in Elite, and we have a software that pulls the products from that company as well. So if you're really looking to do that, you can use that company, but we have specific training for that company in Elite. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't do that without the training. Go ahead and try. I mean, everybody learns by doing stuff. So go ahead and try, but I'm just letting you know, if you would like, you can just get Elite as well, and that training is in there. Okay, and Lisa, when will the premium leads start? The premium leads will actually be starting tomorrow morning. We actually got done with a lot of fancy stuff in there, and I wish I could show you guys even more cool stuff with Market Extreme. If you guys want, I would show you some more things in there. But the actual premium leads will be starting tomorrow. So in Elite, what's the average people make per month? Gerald, you have to understand something. It's very hard for us to come up with numbers and try and say, oh, we know for a fact that this is what on average people are making. And here's why it's so hard, because most of the people are not going to write us every month and say, hey, this month I made this much, and then we keep a track of a database and we know exactly how much they made. What we have to go by is all of the responses that we have coming in at this point. Okay? So when we have all these responses coming in, we say, okay, based on the numbers we are seeing and based on our experience, if somebody's actively using Elite to do this and this, we know that they're making at least 4 figures a month. We actually have, I think there are 2 people who have children. One is a 14-year-old and one is a 15-year-old who are now using the Elite stuff, and they're already making close to 4 figures a month, if not more than that already per month.
I'm actually doing a Skype call with the classroom tomorrow. The teacher was on here earlier, of the gentleman, Charlie, who's 15. Isn't that incredible?
Yep, I was just going to ask you about that, because I saw the support ticket came in. They said, hey, tomorrow at 2, can we do a call with the whole classroom to teach them about entrepreneurship and teach them about information technology, stuff like that. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm jacked up about it for sure. That's going to be fun. I wish I was in that call when I was 15 instead of going down all the different paths and student loans and craziness I went down. But good for them.
It is actually not tomorrow. It's next week, Thursday.
Okay.
Charlie's mom is actually on this webinar, and so she just clarified that for us. So Charlie's...
See if she'll come out. See if she'll come out, Dulce Ramirez.
Dulce, would you like to come on the webinar and give a little pep talk to everyone about how awesome Charlie is, and despite all of Roger's training's flaws, he's still doing so well?
Yeah, Dulce knows better. She has me on Facebook on private counsel.
That's why I said that, because even despite me saying that, Dulce is probably going to come out and she's going to talk about how awesome things are in here. So let me go ahead and try and find her in here in the attendees.
This is a remarkable story.
There she is. All right, Dulce, I'm going to unmute you. Let's see if we can hear you, okay?
All right, good evening. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Hey, good to hear a voice.
Hey, likewise. And I'll apologize in case my puppies bark because I wasn't ready to speak, but I just wanted to let everyone that's on here know that if a 15-year-old sophomore in high school can copy-paste and do a little research, which he's already used to, everyone that's here can really be successful. And, like Hitesh was talking about, we started him at the, the pro level, and I have upgraded him. His priority is to be a full-time student. So because, and eBay also has some restrictions because he does have to be 18. So I manage the whole shipping and selling just to make it, ethical. And he does use an account with my name on it and with his dad's. That way, there's no, we're not breaking any policies. But I just want you to know that it's $20 and has the potential to change your life. And if you have children in college or anything like that, if they're going there to flip, they're flipping burgers on McDonald's and they're running back to college, it's a great opportunity for them to be able to stay in their dorm, and post something that takes about 4 to 5 minutes. I mean, Charlie has it down to about 5 minutes now. It used to take him 10. And at the same time, it teaches them some entrepreneurship he does want to go to college and all that, and we support all that. But at the end of the day, at least when I grew up, it was, go to college to get an education, and then you got a job to pay for the education. And then at the end, all you do is make a company profitable, and you still have to work every day. So this is something that I feel that has really enlightened him, and he also understands that, when he is in college, he's not going to have to go out and drive in traffic and try and get a part-time job so that he can have extra money. So if you're thinking about $20, I'm telling you to just take a leap of faith, pay the $20, and you'll never regret it because it works. It totally works. So thanks a lot, Hitesh and Roger.
Awesome hearing that from you.
Let me unmute myself. Thank you for everything, and please keep sharing your story. And congratulations to you. I love following Charlie. You got a handsome fellow there on your hands for sure. And congratulations for everything.
Thank you.
That's my favorite
This is
story.
Awesome. That's the kind of thing that, quite honestly, I was looking for. Okay, so when I was growing up, this is so awesome. This is one of the things that I really like about the U.S. Okay, so for those of you who might have been able to guess, okay, I grew up in India. So I know that was kind of a big secret there. But I grew up in India, and it was really, really hard, primarily because there are all these conditions there about when you can graduate and the jobs you can do, kind of antiquated child labor laws. And I totally understand, again, why they had them in place, but how legislation doesn't always solve problems. So it was kind of like that. And I wanted to graduate actually from high school when I was, I think, 12. I was like, I need to graduate. I know I can clear it. And I couldn't because you have to pass these national exams. You have to get E16, things like that. When I was 9, I wanted to get MCS certification. Couldn't get that done at that time. So there are all these restrictions and all these things. And obviously, in India, my parents are not going to let a 13-year-old go out and try and do a job and stuff like that. And obviously, there were no jobs allowed. So all of that stuff was happening. And I so desperately wished that at that time I had something like this and was doing something like this because I so wanted to be able to contribute in my house. And it's just awesome when I see this kind of stuff happening. We were just having dinner with a family last week, and they're a homeschooling family. We homeschool as well. So we were sitting and talking about stuff, and I was talking about this, and they were like, oh, let's go do it right now. And the 14-year-old was like, yeah, I want to do this right now. And then they have a 20-year-old, and he was like, I want to do this right now too. It's awesome just seeing all these kids, and I say kids, I'm 27 now, so I was a kid 7, 8 years ago, but it's awesome seeing that kind of stuff. It's really, really good, and that's one of the things that I really liked about the school system here, despite all of the problems that exist in it, without going into the big bunny trail of that you have this freedom that children can actually work on this, and you should all try and get your kids to start doing this. They'll get a lot more appreciation for money as well. So they'll stop asking for allowance. They'll start investing in your business and things like that. So my 6-year-old, for example, he basically invests from his piggy bank in my business, and then I have to give him a return at the end of the month. And this is like awesome for kids to do.
How do you get to invest in your business again, please?
I actually just make up a return every month. And it
started, though, right?
Yes, positive. It started out as trying, math training, but now he's good enough at math. Now I'm kind of like, I need to start lowering my return to him because it's not teaching him much more math. So we're trying to figure that out right now.
That's a good life. I think we got to end on that testimonial.
Yes, I think so.
Great. Yeah.
I don't think we'll be able to beat that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask Dels to come here every week and do this at the end of each webinar. That is a very good way to shut us all up and help us actually end the webinar because we have a horrible condition which prevents us from shutting the webinars down. We just don't. We keep talking. Like Roger, he said, I'll be back, close it down, or I'm leaving now, I'll step away, and then he's still here.
Well,
and he's typing now.
Her son's so smart. That's not me. Her son's so smart he'll start billing us for appearances. So we got to be careful on that one.
That's true.
All right. Kev, you still here?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Sign us off, brother. I usually do it, and Hitesh cuts me off. Let's see if you get through it.
Yeah, he tends to mute people out. So.
Does that sound like me? Everybody's giving me such a tough time. Yeah, let's all pick on the Indian, right?
Tough love. It's tough love.
Tough love.
If I was of a different bent, I could technically claim racism right now, but obviously I'm not going to do that.
Nobody would understand what you're saying.
All right, so no racism claims in this webinar. That's a good start.
Okay, just before you sign off, let me just say one thing, which is if any of you had more questions and you felt like your question wasn't adequately answered or something like that, please feel free to hit us up. Well, don't hit us, but just weird colloquialism. Just go ahead and ask us a question about it. Okay, go ahead and write us back and give us the question, or ask the person who referred you to the webinar, and we will get your questions answered. It's sometimes very hard to go through every question because we have hundreds of people here and thousands of questions, literally. So that's all. That's the last statement out of me. All of you have been awesome and wonderful, and we're going to step out and let Kevin do his thing.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If you're going to be around us for more than 5 minutes, you're definitely going to figure out that this company is totally different from anything you've ever seen before, and we're the kind of people that, and you're going to find this out firsthand, but we consider this a family. So for those of you tonight who started with us, who joined DS tonight, for those of you who are with us in DS, you know this to be true. Welcome to the family, and let's get out there and let's flourish, and let's change what you've seen out there in the network marketing space. If you've tried something and failed, there's a big reason for it, and these guys outlined it perfectly tonight. So get in here, join the family, and we love you. Take care and talk soon. Bye.